12 days away to go until the November elections. Candidates for Oklahoma governor are entering the home stretch. Republican Kevin Stitt and Democrat Drew Edmondson faced off last night in a live debate on Two Works for You.
Our own Scott Thompson was one of the moderators and caught up with the candidates to get new reaction this morning.
It was the only statewide televised debate between the two major candidates for governor, Drew Edmondson and Kevin Stitt, and it did provide some fireworks.
At the time, Business Insider listed Gateway Mortgage as one of the 15 shadiest, with a default rate not a fraction of the national average, but double the national average. Those are facts, and people were kicked out of their homes after receiving subprime loans and subprime mortgages.
I welcome anybody to come check out our company, come talk to our employees. I'm so proud of them. And for somebody at his authority to attack an Oklahoma company is disgraceful.
Being the only statewide debate on television, there was a lot riding on this tonight. So how did they think they did? We caught up with them afterwards. What did you have to do tonight to change minds or get people on your side? Do you think you did it?
You know, I really do. I mean, I think people are ready for change. They're ready for an outsider. That's why we've won it up to this point, and we're going to win it in November.
Some undecideds out there. The race is very narrow, so it's important to hold on to our base, to try to cut into the other side a little bit, and particularly capture the undecided.
You'll have the final say. November the 6th, the early voting begins Thursday and Friday before Election Day, as always. In Oklahoma City, Scott Thompson, Two Works for You.
And to find out more about the upcoming elections, download our free Two Works for You app. You can find a sample ballot there and information on all the state questions.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Oklahoma to take its rightful place as a top 10 state.
This morning, Oklahoma has a new governor-elect. Kevin Stitt tells us his plans for when he gets into office.
It was not the governor candidate that the Oklahoma Education Association hoped for, but I'll tell you what they're saying this morning after Governor-elect Kevin Stitt's victory.
And Oklahomans decide 5 state questions, the 2 nail-biters that came down to just a few thousand votes.
Two Works for You starts right now.
Well, let's get into our big coverage on Decision 2018. And this morning, Oklahoma has a new governor-elect.
Political newcomer and Jinx businessman Kevin Stitt will become the state's 28th governor. Let's take a look at the unofficial results. Stitt defeated Democrat and former state attorney general Drew Edmondson by 12 percentage points, much larger margin than many polls had predicted. Just 2 days ago, the race was considered a toss-up.
Two Works for You anchor Aaron Conrad begins our team coverage. Caught up with Stitt at the Republican Watch Party in Oklahoma City.
A big celebration here in Oklahoma City after Stitt made his victory speech, talking a lot about pushing Oklahoma to a top 10 state under his administration, talking a lot about education, economy, and infrastructure. A big crowd cheering Stitt's message to his supporters, touting his role as an outsider.
It's going to require all of us coming together to work together. Democrats, Republicans, rural and urban, to be united around a common vision. And that vision is to always make the hard decision that's right for the next generation and not the next election.
Stitt thanking, of course, his 6 children, his wife, and his team from Gateway Mortgage, the Tulsa company he started. And at the very end of the speech, Stitt rallying supporters with his slogan, Oklahoma's turnaround starts right now. In Oklahoma City, Aaron Conrad, Two Works for You.
Now, Democrat Drew Edmondson addressed a room full of supporters last night where he conceded the race to Kevin Stitt. We'll hear from Edmondson in the next half hour on his message for the 500,000 Oklahomans who voted for him.
One of the driving factors of Decision 2018 has been education. Teachers joined forces across Oklahoma to campaign for the candidates that they thought would best represent them.
Two Works for You reporter Micah Hatfield is live with what Governor-elect Stitt said about his education plan. Micah, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Scott and Lisa. There's already been talk among some teachers to protest on Governor-elect Kevin Stitt's first day at the Capitol. You know, education has been a hot issue ever since the nearly 2-week teacher walkout in April. The Oklahoma Education Association publicly endorsed Drew Edmondson throughout the race. Even still, Governor-elect Stitt has said he wants to make education in Oklahoma top 10 in the country, and that's not an impossible feat.
And in the Stitt administration, we will value the teaching profession and work towards innovative solutions that are student-centered and ensure stability in core funding and the needs in our every single classroom.
The teachers plan to hold him to that. After his win Tuesday night, the OEA issued a statement saying in part, they looked forward to working with him to make his campaign promise a reality. Plus, with several teachers now in legislative offices, the OEA says he'll have a strong group of teachers to help him keep students at the center of their minds. Live in Tulsa, Micah Hatfield, 2 Works for You.
Now, Stitt's opponents often compared him to outgoing Governor Mary Fallin. Fallin had encouraging words to say about last night's Republican victory.
Well, I am very excited for Governor-elect Kevin Stitt. Congratulations to him. It's a big night for the Republican Party.
Outgoing governor said one of the challenges for the next governor is keeping the state's economy strong.
Tulsa businessman Matt Pinnell will now succeed Todd Lamb, that is, as Oklahoma's lieutenant governor. Pinnell was the chairman of the Oklahoma Republican Party. He defeated Democrat Anastasia Pittman and independent Ivan Holmes with 62% of the vote. 2 Works for You reporter Megan Allison shows us the united message at the top of the Republican ticket.
The message from both Pinnell and Stitt is to make Oklahoma a top 10 state. The lieutenant governor-elect says after driving through all 77 counties, people made it clear that they're looking for change. The Tulsa business owner says as he drove across the state, people told him they were frustrated with everything from road conditions to education. Republicans from every office spoke with enthusiasm of this team at the watch party, saying now Oklahoma will move in a new direction. The goal, attracting more business to the state to improve core services.
What are some best practices around the country that we could be doing right here in Oklahoma from a government efficiency perspective, and then moving the state? Prioritizing core services, though, from an education, healthcare, and infrastructure is something that we've got to do.
Pinnell says as lieutenant governor, he'll act as mediator for the Senate, but his biggest focus will be tourism. It's Oklahoma's 3rd largest industry, and the Republican will also stay in Tulsa, acting as eyes and ears for the governor. This is the first time that someone from Northeast Oklahoma will take the lieutenant governor role, and Pinnell says he's excited to represent Green Country. Reporting in Oklahoma City, Megan Allison, 2 Works for You.
Now, despite losing the lieutenant governor's race, Democrat Anastasia Pittman's role in state government will continue. She's a state senator from Oklahoma City and tells our Laureen Callender what her future plans are.
Well, it's not the outcome Pittman and her supporters hoped for, but she says confidently she's not going anywhere. Pittman conceded from the race about 2 hours after the polls closed. She was defeated by Republican Matt Pinnell, but she says she's too young to retire and too passionate in improving Oklahoma to leave state government.
We've got a lot of work to do in Oklahoma, and so I'm excited to bring some institutional knowledge to the table.
Pittman tells us she's going to take a break and spend some time with her family now that the race is over, but some may see her inside a classroom in the future. Reporting in Oklahoma City, Laureen Callender, 2 Works for You.
All 5 of Oklahoma's congressional seats were up for grabs, and Oklahomans are sending 2 new representatives to Washington.
One of them from the 1st District, which includes the metropolitan Tulsa area. Republican Kevin Hern held his lead from absentee and early voting to defeat Tulsa attorney Tim Gilpin. Hern will succeed Jim Bridenstine, who stepped down to become director of NASA.
A commanding victory in District 2 for incumbent Markwayne Mullin, winning with 65% of votes. Mullin returns for his 4th term in Congress, saying he simply wasn't finished. But Mullin initially got into politics, saying he would only serve 3 terms.